समापत्तिः. Yeah, that's the okay. Again, huh? क्षीणवृत्तेः अभिजातस्येव मणेः ग्रहीतृ ग्रहण ग्राह्येषु तत्स्थ तदञ्जनता समापत्तिः. तत्स्थ तदञ्जनता samapattihi. This is called samapatti, wherein one attains tadanjanata, total identification. The chitta attains identification with what it was focusing its attention on. Tatstha, it as though abides there. वहीं पर abide. And what was it focusing its attention on? On grahya, grahana or grahitru. Grahya means that which is grasped. The literal meaning, grahya means that which is grasped. Grahana means that by which we grasp it. And grahana is the one who, and the grahitru is one who is grasping. Yeah? So grahitru is the experiencer or the seer. Grahana is the instrument through which he is seeing, and grahya is that which is seen. So when the chitta becomes totally one, or identification happens with grahitru, grahana and grahya, that is called samapatti. And when it happens, how? It says kshina vrittehe. When the vrittis becomes kshina, kshina means less, weak or less. So this happens when one has practiced the samprajna samadhi for a long time. All four. The vitarka, vichara, ananda and asmita. When one has practiced those four type of samadhis for a long time, the chitta becomes free from lot of its vrittis. So the chitta start becoming more and more pure. So that's called kshina vritti. And it pure means it start becoming more and more sattvic. And here the example is given, avijatasya iva manehe, like a mani, like a what you call mani, pearl you can say, but absolutely like a diamond or something, absolutely clear, like a crystal. You can say crystal, absolutely clear crystal. Now very interesting, this absolutely clear crystal, if it is some colored object is brought, it as though becomes of that color. It doesn't have any color of its own. So when it is kept on a blue colored, like a blue flower or something is brought, that crystal appears blue. Though the crystal is colorless, but it appears blue. Why? Because it has become one with that, as though it has become one with the flower. So eva, that shabda is used, eva, as though, not really, as though. So kshina vrittehe, this happens, this samapatti happens only when the vrittis become kshina, means it will not happen immediately. So when the chitta has become free of lot of its vrittis, then it becomes as pure as a crystal, as clear as a crystal. Sattvic it becomes. And in that sattvic chitta, when one focuses on the grahya, the grahana or grahitru. What was said in the previous that section wherein we talked about vitarka, vichara, ananda and asmita, that four is divided here into three. See, now you can pay attention to the chart. So this Mahabhut is something which we can grasp through the senses. These tanmatras are also something which can be grasped. Yeah. So they are like the grahya. And they are grasped by this jnanendriyas, karmendriyas and the mana. So they are like grahana. And this ahankar and this chitta which has got this ahankar and asmita, they are like the grahitru, the knower or the seer. So they are the seer, these are the grahana and these are the grahya. So in the beginning the attention is on grahya, so vitarka, vichara and all. It's on little bit on this, on the grahya. And when one gains the total identification with that, that is the samapatti. Then with total identification with the grahana also happens, that is samapatti. And when the complete identification happens with the grahitru, see the whole idea of our sadhana is to reach this grahitru level. The previous lower levels are just as a practice or to help the person to reach the higher level. The idea is not to become master of tanmatras or something. It is the whole thing is to reach this subtler level of ahankar and then still subtler to that asmita. So the lower level sadhana is done because most of our vrittis are attached to this only. They get clean, they get purified only when we work from the bottom properly. All the other vrittis get dropped. So that is why it's all these are important. But ultimately we have to reach higher and higher level. So when a person, his chitta has become absolutely clean like a crystal, kshina vrittehe abhijatasya iva manehe, as though like a pure clean crystal. And when he gains that tadatmya, total identification when happens with the grahitru, grahana, grahyeshu tat, when that ekagrata is established in them and one gains total identification, tadanjanata, that's called samapattihi, that is samapatti. This samapatti is the culmination of the samprajnat samadhi. And samapatti has to be attained at all four levels, at the vitarka level, at the vichara level, at ananda level and at asmita level. And only when we reach that asmita level samapatti, then we can go to the next stage of asamprajnat. So this is like fine tuning now. First we thought that we have reached, but here the Rishi is bringing us down again and telling us fine tune karo thoda sa. This is the final yatra, fine tuning. Now comes another very interesting. This continues, but that interesting fine tuning of the vitarka and vichara. We feel that vitarka vichara हो गया हमारा अच्छा, but उसमें अभी fine tuning what we have to do is now said in the next sutra. तत्र शब्दार्थ ज्ञान विकल्पैः संकीर्ण सवितर्का समापत्तिः तत्र शब्दार्थ ज्ञान विकल्पैः संकीर्ण सवितर्का समापत्तिः तत्र there about these four types of sadhana which was mentioned before also. Shabdartha jnana vikalpaihi sankirna savitarka. The savitarkas which was mentioned, the vitarkanugat. Vitarkanugat samprajnat samadhi which was mentioned before. In that there are two stages. There are two parts, two types of or called samapatti is there. In that, one is called savitarka samapatti, and another is nirvitarka samapatti. Savitarka and nirvitarka. First, we pay attention to that object, focus our attention on that object. When we focus our attention on that object, gross object, then what happens? Three types of vrittis arise, or it gets associated with three things. Three things are mixed up in that ekagrata. What are the three? Shabda, Artha, and Jnana. Shabda means words. Artha means the meaning of those words. And Jnana means some more knowledge about that meaning, or more information about that word, about that artha also. For example, suppose we have an apple in front. Suppose there is apple in my hand. You can see? So you can just suppose. So that apple, there is a shabda which we call that name of that apple. We say apple. And this Angrez, when they came, they only saw apple in their life, so they named everything as apple only. Whatever they saw in India. Custard apple, this apple, that apple, those apple, this apple, that apple. Anyway, but apple is there. So that name, Shabda, when I say apple to you, you are listening to that Shabda. And when you listen to that Shabda, lot of thoughts come about that apple. That is the Jnana. That is called Jnana. That is what we call Vikalpa in the previous, when we studied about the Vrittis, it's called Vikalpa. Shabda Jnananupati, which follows the Shabda. So when we use word, it is accompanied by lot of this Jnana. And the trouble is, like somebody yesterday mentioned about Google, that when one word is used, thousands of things come. So all our samskar which we have is of that nature that we have words and we have so many jnana about it. Okay. So there is shabda and there is jnana. And this shabda indicates what? That artha. What is the meaning of that shabda? Apple. Poor apple doesn't have any shabda in it, doesn't have any jnana in it. It's just a mere apple. It's an object. So when we focus our attention on apple, what happens? Shabda and jnana also comes and they mix up with it. There is this 3-in-1 mix-up takes place. So when all these three are mixed up, then it is called savitarka, what you call samapatti. All three are there. So tatra shabda artha jnana vikalpaihi sankirna savitarka samapattihi. All three have become one. And this is no good attention. Because our attention, the idea is to focus attention on apple. Shabda is only to direct our attention there. Jnana and all is not required, but they come and they are they crowd around that apple like anything. So that type of ekagrata, that also is very important. I mean, very high stage. That in the beginning, when that type of ekagrata comes and we become one with that ekagrata, then that is called samapatti only. The word samapatti is used. This is savitarka samapatti. So we are only focusing our attention on that apple and getting distracted here and there. That practice when we are doing, that is samprajnat samadhi. But when that one becomes one totally identifies with the apple along with the shabda as well as jnana, then that is called savitarka samapatti. Tatra shabdartha jnana vikalpaihi sankirna savitarka samapattihi. So this is savitarka samapatti, but what we have to attain is nirvitarka samapatti, in which we have to eliminate shabda and jnana. Shabda and jnana has to be eliminated. When it gets eliminated and only that artha remains, then it is called nirvitarka samapatti. That is the first step. Then many steps are there, so we'll have to come back again for the other steps. So we will next class we will have little early. If you can come early, then it will be nice. So 10:30, yeah, 10:30 we will have, and we'll see how we gain that samapatti. So it's very interesting, and this then will lead to slowly to that kaivalya avastha. So we'll see it in the next class at 10:30. पूर्णमादाय पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ।